So this is my second time trying to film this, because the first time I didn't have my microphone plugged in, because apparently even after a year of doing booktube I still forget things like plugging in my microphone. Okay, so I bought some books over the last 3 months. Let's talk about them. So I'm going to start with non-fiction, and for that we have The Escape Artist by Jonathan Freedland. This is a non-fiction account of 2 young Jewish men who escaped from Auschwitz. They were the first to do so, and it came very highly recommended by the bookseller in Waterstones. Yeah, she honestly should have had me buying the whole shop, but it's got some lovely pictures in, and yeah, I thought it sounded really interesting. I don't think I've read very much non-fiction about the Second World War, which I need to rectify, so this will start me moving in that direction. Then I treated myself to the bind up of his Dark Materials trilogy by Philip Pullman. So if you're unfamiliar, this is a children's classic fantasy series, and I absolutely adored it as a child. We follow a young girl, Lyra, and her demon, which is sort of like a soul on the outside of your body, Pantaleimon, and their sort of journey really to discover sort of some of the secrets of the universe, I suppose. I do have pretty good memories of the first book, but the details on the second 2 are a bit sketchy, so I'm looking forward to rereading this, and I may have something cooking for next year if you also want to read this, but I will say no more for the time being. Then I picked up a couple of these cutie little modern classic things. So yeah, I don't know why, I just saw them, I thought they looked cute, and I was interested in the couple, so I picked up the Martin Luther King one, which is Letters from Birmingham Jail. So this is, sorry, a letter, so this is just a letter that he wrote, I guess, from Birmingham Jail. I don't know much about it. I haven't really read anything written by Martin Luther King before, so very keen to give that a go and sort of educate myself a bit more on the history. And I also picked up the one by Chinua Achebe, Africa's Tarnished Name, which is a small collection of essays looking at sort of African history and the sort of appropriation of Africa. So yeah, I read Things Fall Apart by Achebe last year and really enjoyed it. So when I saw that he had one of these little minis out, I picked that one up as well. Then when I was buying the non-fiction that we've already talked about, the bookseller also sold me Storyland by Amy Jeffs. So this is a anthology of British myths. I have never read many British myths outside of Arthurian legend, and this is broken up into 4 parts across like different ages, so myths from different ages, and it has some really stunning artwork in it. So yeah, very much looking forward to getting to that one. I mean, the cover is just so pretty, isn't it? So yeah, I picked that one up. Oh, and it was shortlisted for Waterstones Book of the Year in 2021, FYI. So where should we go now? Okay, so if you've seen any of my hauls before, you will know that I subscribe to the Shelterbox book club, which is a book club here in the UK which looks to promote diverse authors, and a proportion of the money that you spend on your subscription goes to help causes in the countries from the books that are chosen, effectively. So I have 2 here. The first is Mrs. Moher Goes Missing by Maryla Szymiczkowa. Yeah, I apologise, I should have checked that before I started, but this is a translated work, I believe. Yeah, translated from the Polish by Antonia Lloyd-Jones, and I think this is at the heart of it a bit of a murder mystery about like a small Polish town and someone dies, and yeah, I think I think the less I know about this the better, really. So yeah, quite a cool cover though, right? And the second book that came in Shelterbox Book Club, which I was delighted by, was August Town by Kai Miller. So if you saw my review of Things I Have Withheld that I read earlier this year by Kai Miller, his latest essay collection, I absolutely adored it, and I've been really wanting to get to some of his other work, and then this was chosen by the Shelterbox Book Club, And so I will be trying to get to this year because his writing is exquisite and I really, really loved it. So this takes place in Augustown, which is a town in Jamaica, and it follows a grandmother and her grandson, I believe, or a mother and her son. And the boy comes home from school and his dreadlocks have been cut off, and she predicts that things are gonna start going wrong for her and her family. So that's sort of all I know about it, but it sounds really interesting, and I absolutely trust Kai Miller to deliver an excellent book. So let's go on to the books that I've picked up because of the Booker Prize 2022. If you missed it, me and Scott from Gunpowder Fiction and Plot did a live reaction to the Booker Prize long list when it was announced a couple of weeks ago, and I am very excited for quite a few of the books on there. So I instantly went out and bought some. So one of the ones I bought was Maps of Our Spectacular Bodies by Maddie Mortimer. This one follows a young woman. I think she has cancer, and I think it comes from different perspectives. I think one perspective is the cancer, and I don't really know much more than that. I don't think I need to, but I did see Scott recently review this. I'll leave that video below, and he really, really liked it. So yeah, I'm really excited to get to this one. I think it's going to be a really good book. The other one I picked up was Glory by No Violet Bulawayo, and this one sounds so good. It's sort of loosely inspired by George Orwell's Animal Farm, and I think it follows the Zimbabwe coup. I think it's basically based on the Zimbabwean coup, but told all from the perspective of animals, and it sounds fascinating, and it's had rave reviews, so cannot wait to get to this one. And this is Bulawayo's second time being nominated for the Booker, and only her second novel, so a bit of a powerhouse of an author that I really need to get to. So hoping to get to this one before the shortlist is announced in September. And then the last one is one that I won. I never win anything, honestly. I'm like the least lucky person in the entire world, but I won The 7 Moons of Marley Almeida by Shian Karantaliaka. Apologies if I've pronounced that wrong. And I won this from the lovely Kieran at KD Books as part of his Booker Boy book club thing. I won on the little wheel of doom. So yeah, this sounds quite surrealist. I absolutely love the cover, but I think it sort of follows a man who's died and is trying to figure something out, based in Sri Lanka in the Civil War. And this bloke, Marley Almeida, I think has some secrets and he's trying to keep them hidden or something. Oh, I don't really know, but it sounds intriguing, and yeah, can't wait to get to it. Right, let's move on to sci-fi, shall we? And the next one I have is The Deep by Rivers Solomon, and I think this is about African slaves that sort of fell off the ships on the way over to the Americas and turned into mermaids. I don't really know, but I've been meaning to get to Rivers Solomon for a while, and I was talking about their other book, I can't remember what it's called now, on another video, and the lovely Bookish Gem said, oh, I have The Deep, would you like it? And she sent it to me because she's a little love. So very much looking forward to getting to that one, and love that cover, and it's quite short, so I should be able to get to it soon, right? Is that sci-fi? That's not really sci-fi, is it? Fantasy? What would we call it? Whatever you want to call it, it's about mermaids. This one I think is more sci-fi, or I think of him as a sci-fi author. Whether these are sci-fi or not, I don't know. The Illustrated Man by Ray Bradbury. So this is a collection of short stories, and I can hear you. I hear you say, Gemma, but you don't like short stories. This is true. However, the lovely Alice from Alice and the Giant Bookshelf was up my way the other day, and we went book shopping, and she was like, honestly, Gemma, this is, if you don't read any other short story collection, this is the one. And so I bought it. So obviously if it's really pants, then I'm going to have to just go and unsubscribe and stop talking to her forever. I'm only joking. And yeah, so I think this is sort of interconnected short stories, not really sure, but I did enjoy Fahrenheit 451 when I read it last year by this author, and I know that Alice really, really rated this, so yeah, we shall give it a go. Shall we move to YA? So if you saw my wrap up, this is going to come as no surprise, but I did this. So I've read these three, the first three volumes of Heartstopper by Alice Oseman, and I still have this one to go, volume 4, and this is just a delight. These are graphic novels about a young couple, Nick and Charlie, and their experience as gay teenagers and what it's like for them. And it's just, so addictive, honestly. You can't put it down when you pick it up. I've just got this last one to go, as I said, and I can't wait to get to it. So yeah. The other YA is also a graphic novel that I picked up, and that's Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds. And so this one, I believe, is about a boy who is going down an elevator, and I think he's going to kill someone or to try and take revenge on someone. And at each stop on the elevator on the way down, he meets someone that teaches him something, and when we get to the bottom, will he still want to do that? I think is the general premise, but I have heard really good things about it. The artwork is stunning, and yeah, I've just been really wanting to get to some more graphic novels and graphic memoirs, and I saw this one and wanted to give it a go. So the credit card squealed some more. Let's go on to historical fiction now, shall we? And the first one I want to talk about is The Darkest Hour by Barbara Erskine. That's not even a hard name to say. And this was very kindly sent to me by the lovely Emily at Novel Novels, so thank you, Emily. I don't think she loved this one, but she said she thought I might like it. And this is a World War II novel. I think it's dual timeline, where sort of in the present timeline we have a woman who's trying to like uncover her history, that sort of trope. I don't know too much more than that, but if it's done well, it'll be really good. If it's not done well, then it has been done before. So we shall see, but it was a Sunday Times bestseller, and I have been wanting to try some Barbara Erskine. So what better place to start than here? So the next one I have is The Dance Tree by Kieran Millward Hargraves. Now I actually found this in the little free library at Tesco's. I was like, really? Signed copy? Beautifully painted, beautifully sprayed edges is what I'm trying to say there. So yeah, very excited to get to this one. And this is set in 1518 in Strasbourg. And I think it's multiple perspective. I think we follow one woman who just starts dancing in the middle of a square and doesn't stop. And then we follow another perspective where you have one of the members of the family coming back from serving some sort of penance in the mountain, and it's sort of about family secrets and the power of women, all those sorts of things. So it sounds fantastic, and to be honest, I've picked it up just based on the cover and the author. So yeah, hoping to get to this one soon. And then the last historical fiction I picked up was The House with the Golden Door by Elodie Harper. This is the second in the Wolf Den series, and I did pick up the signed copy because I loved the Wolf Den so much. And this is set in ancient Pompeii. We're following a young girl who works in a brothel called the Wolf Den, and in the first book we sort of looked at how she got there and what happens in this Wolf Den, and then it left it at a point, I'm not going to spoil it, but left it at a point where other things are happening in her life, and we'll see what those things are in this book. But yeah, if you haven't picked up The Wolf Den yet, I highly recommend, because I really loved it. So looking forward to getting to this one as soon as I physically can. Then I picked up Memphis by Tara M. Stringfellow, and I recently saw Fraser Simons review this and he gave it glowing praise, so that bodes well. And this one is about a family of black women, where they came from, some of the horrific things that happened in their past, and the way they're all drawn together is my general understanding of it. I don't really want to know too much more than that. It's not a super big book, but as I say, I'm hearing good reviews, so can't wait to get to this one. Then I picked up, because it was nominated for the Waterstones Debut Author Award, Trespassers by Louise Kennedy. And I actually had a subscriber comment the other day and said this was one of her favourite books of last month, so thank you, Jacqueline. And this is set, I think, in Belfast in Ireland, and we follow a young teacher and the things that are going on in her life. So you've got bombings going on, and she's trying to teach these kids, and she's having to teach them things that you shouldn't have to teach children, and it sounds pretty heartbreaking. It says, tender and shocking, an unforgettable debut of people trying to live ordinary lives in extraordinary times. So this absolutely sounds like a Gemma book, and yeah, need to read it. We've only got 2 left now. 2 left. One is How High We Go in the Dark by Sakuya Nagamatsu, and this is a sort of climate science fiction jobby where we sort of follow humanity decades after some sort of extinction event, or almost extinction event, I think. So I've heard mixed reviews of this. I picked this up because I predicted it to be on the Booker long list. It wasn't, but I hyped myself up for it, so I bought it. So yeah, we will see what this one's like. Like I say, I've heard mixed things, but it definitely sounds like my sort of jam. So we're gonna give it a whirl. And then the last book that I hauled was An Unnecessary Woman by Rabbi Alameddine. And I'll be honest, I don't really know what this is about, but it was Shelley's best book of the year last year over at Shelley Swearingen. And then I saw Fraser review it as well recently, and he really loved it too. So I kind of want to go into this one blind. I think it's set in Beirut, and yeah, if Shelley and Fraser loved it, I'm hoping that I will too. And yeah, so I bought it. And that is all the books I have acquired over the last 3 months. All the books. So yeah, I really need to crack on and read, so I better go do that. But yeah, let me know if you've read any of these, what you think, and if you are interested, and if you're interested to see what I hauled in the spring, I'll leave that video here, and I will catch you all very, very soon with another one. Bye guys.